founders of a company called Planet Charge. We're a vertically integrated solutions provider for EV charging in commercial environments, which is a bit of a mouthful. So essentially what we do is we retrofit EV charging solutions into high-rise residential environments and also for commercial property asset owners. My business partner came to me 2 years ago with the idea to start this company, and he had a background in electrical contracting, doing complex switchboard upgrades for critical infrastructure, looking after Suncorp Stadium, Brisbane Racing Clubs, Coles, Dan Murphy's, places where they couldn't have significant downtime with their energy supply. And the complexity of that type of work worked really well with what we understood was required for the electric vehicle charging market. Specifically in high-rise residential, you're often looking to upgrade the infrastructure, including switchboard upgrades, cable pathways, and putting in smarts and control systems to be able to control the loads so that when multiple vehicles are being charged at the same time, you're not overloading the internal network of the building. So we launched 2 years ago, and it's interesting to see how many people in here have an EV or are looking to buy an EV, but when dealing with body corporate environments, you find that that's not always the case. Often the body corporate committee members, you'll have some very strong advocates for EV charging and some people very strongly opposed to EV charging. I didn't realise how passionate internal combustion engine supporters were until I started doing this job. And there's been quite a lot of emotive topics around this recently as well. Unfortunately, we live in a world of what I call Facebook politics, where a video can go viral of an electric vehicle catching fire, and that can create a lot of background noise that are causing problems to see the adoption of this technology into multi-res environments. So we've gone through and created an EV readiness program. So essentially what we're doing is we're assessing the infrastructure of buildings, designing a system that's going to be suitable for them, and then presenting that to the client in a way that isn't too technically complex and that they can understand. Now, one of the big surprises for us is we thought if we were going to put 50 chargers into a high-rise residential tower, we thought that there'd have to be significant upgrades to the power that's being provided to that building to do so. But what we are finding is through the smarts and what they're calling load management systems, with existing infrastructure, 9 times out of 10, we're able to provide a charging network that doesn't require a significant upgrade to the infrastructure of the building, which means that, ballpark figures, we can create an EV-ready building, say for an apartment block that had 50 apartments, for about $1,000 an apartment. So when you consider, though, that you're going to have a two-speed economy when it comes to property values, as all new properties actually are EV-ready, so if you own an electric vehicle and you're moving into an apartment block, you're only going to move into one that is EV-ready. So if you don't have an EV readiness program for your current building, then there's potential risk of the value. So with this is only $1,000. That doesn't include the charger. That's just the infrastructure in place to try and support that, and that's a very rough number. We're not talking sheep stations in order to get to this point. But we are fighting a lot of conditions that are, like I said, are emotive for the people who are making decisions at the moment to introduce it. Around fire, around why should I, if I drive a petrol car, pay for the infrastructure to charge a EV in my building? And we're seeing a lot of that happening. So for us, it's not just installing the infrastructure and understanding and designing it, it's also going through an education process with everyone as well. That's about me.
Yeah, right. Well, thanks for that, Guy. And I think you bring up a